Hello! Welcome to another episode of Cooking with Heather. We're going to do something different tonight. I'm going to mix a bunch of pasta together and I'm going to combine it with stuffing, and then I'm going to put macaroni in there too. And we're going to see how it tastes. I hope it tastes good. So here we go. We're going to fill our pots with water first. See, we're just going to cook all this nice, wonderful spaghetti. It's going to be a combination of whole wheat and white, although whole wheat is healthier. And yes, I do put it in while the water's boiling just because, I don't know, I just like doing it that way. I don't know why. But I'm going to break it into pieces so it's easier to maintain. The occasional piece won't be broken, but most of it will be, and it'll be just awesome. So, I know I haven't done a lot of online videoing like this lately because my dad's really close to dying. So I've needed to be there with my family, but tonight I just feel the need to cook and share it because it just makes me feel better. Cooking can be so therapeutic. Cooking can be incredibly therapeutic. Alright? So this is for our stuffing, and we're going to put all the boxes. Got 3 boxes of stuffing here. And I've got a bunch of vegetables and stuff that I'm going to add to that as well, just because. And we are stacking it neatly so we can clean up our mess later, which is always important in the kitchen because you don't want to cook in a sloppy kitchen. And you see that we don't have a lot of butter, but you know, a very cool person on Project Runway, Tim Gunn, says make it work. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to make it work. And you know what? I love cooking videos, and I love being here for all of you. But I would honestly be rather be running the Amazing Race with my mom. But not everybody gets what they want right now. Besides, my dad's dying, and we can't even think about that yet. And you see, we scrape the butter so that we get all of it, so we're not wasting. Because wasting, especially when you don't have a ton of money, is very bad. And my mom sometimes likes to wash these out for storage containers, which is very prudent. And I think you should all totally do that. So we're going to put that aside for a moment. We're going to put some water in this so it's easy to cook. We're going to put it on the stove. And then we're going to let that deal with itself for a minute. And that's my dog, which... Fredo! So we're going to mix all this together. And we're just going to deal with it. Sorry about that, folks. Sorry about that, folks. I had to deal with my dog, who's making more noise than it's worth dealing with. But anyway, we're going to do this. We're going to open this and take some of it. And we're going to put some of it in with the whole wheat because I like variety. Because I think it's fun. I think it's fun to have some variety. And it's important to have variety when you cook. But we don't have quite enough water in this yet, so we're going to take it off the heat and apply more water to it. So there we go, there's enough water now. We're not going to use very much of this, but we're just going to use some just so there's variety and beauty in all things. And we're going to put this out of the way. We're going to go back to our stuffing and see how that's doing. Oh, it's coming up nicely, some of it. Just scrape the butter off the edges here. It's coming up nicely. It's a little soft. But you know what? It's good. But it's really good that the stuffing is taking shape. Alright. Now that the stuffing is on its way, what we're going to do is start opening some of these vegetables that we've got. We've got some canned mushrooms, no name brand because it's cheaper. You know what? We're gonna need another pan for the another pot for the sauce. And make a sauce. Because sauces to spaghetti are always important. We've got some lovely thick and zesty primo tomato basil right here, which we're going to use for the sauce. Now, I'm sure I've showed you how to cook this before, but you know what? These videos are more than just cooking videos to me. They're actually ways I can unload my soul. Because stuff happens, and sometimes people get overwhelmed by it. Stuff happens, and people get overwhelmed by it, and what better way to unload your soul than to make a video of yourself engaging in something creative and safe. Okay, so we're going to dump the mushrooms in the sauce and set the camera aside. Actually, no, there's not a lot of room, so we're just going to throw these cans away. Because neat and tidy is always the key. But we're just going to do this, put that on, and then go about... You know what? I'm in the mood for some sliced ripe olives this evening. And keep in mind that this dinner is for more than just me. It's for my mom too. My dad really can't eat anymore, so I have to cook for me and my mom now. And I like cooking for me and my mom and my brother because they like what I make. Yes, they tease me about my cooking fetish and my need for cooking videos, but I know they love me and I know my dad loves me. And I'm just so grateful I'm here with all of you to do this cooking video because it's been a really hard summer and fall and it's just really hard and this is like my therapy. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to put the pea juice in the stuffing to moisten it up a bit. And then we're going to stick all the peas in the sauce. Isn't that wise? That way there's no waste. Oh, and the stuffing's getting really moist now because of that pea juice. And this spaghetti is sure taking its time, but it's a lot of spaghetti, mind you. I put it up to maximum to make it go faster. And this is just an awesome opportunity to just share my love of cooking with all of you. I mean, I'm not Gordon Ramsay. I could never be Gordon Ramsay, at least not without a lot of training. So there's our sauce. It's looking dapper. Now we need to take care of putting our noodles in something. I mean, and we're not going to cook them separately either. We're going to throw them in here with these SpaghettiOs. Lots of little Catelli macaronis. Hank is very creative and just very wonderful, I'm hoping. See, I've never tried combining stuffing and spaghetti before, so at least not that I can remember. Maybe I did and I don't remember. So we're just going to stick this all in here. Let it do what it will. And wow. And you know what? I'm going to add some leftover sliced mushrooms because I don't like to bring cans up and end up wasting them. I'm going to add these to the stuffing because I think that's cool. I won't add the juice because that might be too much. But mushrooms in the stuffing might be actually very wonderful. And we're going to see what's in the fridge. See if anything is useful in the fridge that we can use. Oh. You know what? There's a wasted celery stalk here. We don't have very much with celery, so we're going to put a little celery in the sauce. Not that, obviously, it's too soft. Although, we can use the leaves to flavor the sauce. And the sauce is just coming along very nicely, indeed. We don't even need to cut it because it's so soft. we can just rip up little pieces. You know what? Maybe we better cut it, but we don't need we need a cutting board. Actually, yes, because it's hygienic. So we'll move the can opener out of the way. And there we go. There's some pieces for the sauce. And we'll throw that away and we'll put that there. Do you think it needs more sauce or celery in the sauce? Maybe a little bit, huh? So we'll just tear out 3 of those and we'll put this back because I don't like cooking in a super messy kitchen. And then I'll put all the dishes in the dishwasher later because, you know, with a lot of dishes and the things you go through in life, sometimes you don't have time to do the dishes. And so we're chopping up celery pieces to join the olives and the mushrooms and the peas that are already in the sauce. We're just doing some great experimentation today just because my creative side is so flourishing. I'm doing this to educate people and to feel better and I don't know, just to show that I can because I like experimenting with food. I like using my time to educate y'all on this. And I just plain like having fun. Oh, stuff is starting to boil, so we'll just turn it down. And we'll finish up with our vegetables. Then we'll get back to the cooking part. It's coming along so nice. Then we'll check on our little stuffing. I might have turned it up too high, so it might be not doing too well, but it's okay. Okay, I think the stuffing might be done. Actually, which is good. It's done early. But we'll keep it on the stove. Mix all the mushrooms into it. And may I say we did this without very little margarine. We made it work. And you're wondering what I'm going to do with all this once the spaghetti's cooked. And well, I'm going to drain the spaghetti, obviously. And then I'm going to dump the sauce and the stuffing in to that. And we're just going to have a party in the mouth. And it's going to be a happy party. And And it's really just going to be worthwhile, and you'll be glad that I showed you all these things. Yeah. We're just waiting for it to soften. It's almost softened. So while that's finishing softening, we'll just check on our sauce. And actually we're spicing it entirely with whatever's in the can and with vegetables today. Celery and peas and mushrooms and celery, peas, mushrooms, and olives, and it's already got tomato and basil in it. And this stovetop stuffing has mushrooms in it and a bit of pea juice. So hopefully it'll all just turn out wonderful. And there's like little noodles in here, and whole wheat pasta and regular pasta. Well, okay, I think it's about done. Hold on. Not quite. Shouldn't be done. It should be done any minute. But you know, it looks cooked enough that we can actually drain it. We're scraping all that we can into the drainer. We're going to stick it back on the stove, and then once it's drained for a minute, we're going to dump it back. I mean, there's a bit of a mess here, but I will clean it up. Alright, now we're going to add the sauce. Actually no, the sauce is last. We'll let that cool for a microsecond. We're going to add the stuffing. And you may want an oven mitt for this part, just so your hand doesn't burn when you try to add the stuffing. And of course, most of the stuffing's stuck to the bottom, but okay. A good amount of time in the dishwasher will fix that. There we go. We're done with that. And now for the sauce, after we mix up the stuffing and the pasta a bit. And squish the stuffing down so there's room. Okay, then we'll do this at a bit at a time so it doesn't make a mess. You have to do this really carefully, mixing the stuffing and the spaghetti and the pastas and the sauce together. You really got to be careful. You have to do it bit by bit. You really have to be careful. You really got to be careful, and you can use the same spoon. You can use the different spoons now, since all three are mixed together. And this makes a really giant pot, so you'll have meals for a few days. And be sure to scrape with whatever spoon you can find so there's not a lot of waste. Because wasted food's not good, because children starve every day. And my daddy's got cancer, can't eat, so. Here we go. And that is done. Now we're going to have a good look at this beautiful creation here. Look at that. There's stuffing, stovetop stuffing. There's mushrooms, there's peas, there's sauce, there's celery, there's olives, different kinds of spaghettis, and we've got that. We've got such a beautiful meal. There's like all sorts of lovely stuff in here, and it's cooking quite beautifully. But it's done now. Don't be afraid to experiment. And for my thoughts. Don't be afraid to experiment. Don't be afraid to combine things, and don't be afraid to cook even when trials are so hard that you don't want to do anything. Do something creative, because the trial will not go away just because you don't know how to respond, but you can respond in a way that will help you be able to cope. Do something creative. Rely on your higher power. Make something as amazing as this. Try it. Do it. It's like the great pasta experiment, almost. But seriously, this is a great meal, and it will feed for a while. It'll feed people for a while. Anyway, this is Cooking with Heather, and as a close, I'll zoom in on the food one more time. There you go. See ya.